Section 3.5 deals with property taxes. To understand property taxes, you kind of have to understand a little bit about how homes are valued. It says when the home is actually sold, the fair market value is determined. So the fair market value is whatever price somebody paid for the house, because it wouldn't have sold for more than that because nobody would buy it. And it wouldn't have sold for less than that because you found a customer that would buy that house. At other times, it says the fair market value is needed, and so they make an appraisal. An appraisal just compares the information about your house with houses that recently sold. So that's the appraised value, which is used by banks. The assessed value is the amount of the value of the home that is taxed. In some areas, assessed value, it says, is as little as 25%. And in Eau Claire, assessed value is more than 100% of the value. With that in mind, let's look at these questions for our assignment. Lauren Eli Jones just bought a new house from Molly Sequa. Molly had it listed at $122,999. Because the house was assessed at $116,100 for property taxes, the Joneses offered $119,20, which was accepted. The bank sent out an appraiser and said it was worth $129,20. What is the market value? Well, the market value is the one, when it's sold, it's the one that it was sold for. Now the question, because in the second question it says they bought a house 5 years ago. 5 years ago they offered $167,700. The appraiser says it's worth $171,700. So the bank would value the house at $171,700. Estimated market value. Let's look at this one. Lauren Eli Jones just bought a new house. Molly had it listed. The county assessor assessed it at $190,000. The appraiser said it was worth $186,400. The estimated fair market value, that's what the estimator says it is, and we would say, yeah, this says $190,000. The estimated market value would be the $186,400, not the $190,000 there. Next one. Taxes are always based on the assessed value, so the assessed value is $202,400. Next one. Section 3.5.2. Now we have to figure out different things. Let's look at this first one that we have to figure out. Just a second here. Milt Hendrickson owns a home. The county assessor estimated its value to be $314,000. If it's assessed at 90% of the fair market value, rounded to the nearest thousand, what is the assessed value? Okay, so the we have to get out our calculator. And then it says the assessed value is 90% of the fair market value. So we are going to take $314,000 times 90% because it's only worth, it's only assessed at 90% its value. So we would say $282,600, which rounds to $283,000 if rounded to the nearest thousand. Next one, same kind of a problem, only this time it says that the house is worth $220,000, but Eau Claire assessed it at 103. I got it right, 1.0335. And when we multiply it by that, we get 227,000. What did I do wrong? I didn't add enough zeros. $227,000. Next one. Whitfield County, Georgia has an assessment ratio of 38%. What would be the assessed value if the market value is $440,000? So we would take $440,000, 40,000 times, and it says the assessment ratio 0.3805, and we get $167,000 rounded to the nearest thousand. In Cass County, North Dakota, the assessment ratio is 50%. So if the fair market value of the house is $280,000 times 0.5055, we would have $142,000 if you round to the nearest $1,000. Next one, 3.5.3, calculating mill rate. Okay, so let's look here. To calculate mill rate, you take the amount of taxes necessary divided by the taxes that should be paid. So here we go. In 2011, the district's value was $20 billion, so we're going to take $36,099,008 divided by $20,563,319,779, and we get a mill rate of 0.001. I'm sorry, that's the decimal rate, but to change it into a mill rate, we have to move the decimal point 3 places, and we get 1.7555. Now, it says 0, but actually the county calculated it as 1. So the the CVTC district was off by a decimal place, weren't they? Next one. We're going to have to call the school board to find out what's going on with that, right? Next one. The rate per thousand, you would do the same division, and the rate per thousand on the problem that we just did would be $1.755550. Okay. What is your total rate per thousand? So you would just add those up. Here we go. 7.344 plus 1.606 plus 3.379 plus 0.164 plus 9.219 equals, excuse me, 2171.12. Let's see. Okay, let's figure out it for this district. They want it to be the decimal tax rate, so we would take 68 million divided by 100, excuse me, 161,000,000,000, 7 zeros, and we get 0.042236 would be the decimal rate. And then for the last one, it says determine the mill rate. Remember, for mill rate, you have to move the decimal point 3 places. Last section, calculating property taxes due. So in this first case, his house is worth $370,000. Times, now it says a mill rate, so that's 0.01349,810. And we get $499.43. Next one, assessed value of 114,000 times, and this is a decimal, or I'm sorry, percent, so it'll be 0.028036, and we get $3,196.10. This is per 100, which is the same as a percent, since percent means per 100. So we would just take the $205,000 times 0.038384, and we get, oops, come on now, $7,868.72. Okay. Next one, it says is per $1,000 of assessed value. Notice this one was per 100. This one is per 1,000. So when we do our math this time, we have $240,000. So we have 240 of those thousands times 1.8701 gives us $448.82. These are the problems for this assignment. If you need any help, you know how to reach me.